In a recent turn of events, Jake Paul shockingly called out Connor McGregor after his terrifying win against bare-knuckle champion Mike Perry. In the post-press conference of Mike Perry versus Jake Paul fight, Jake was asked how he felt about Connor McGregor calling him out on social media, to which he responded that he just wants a nice payday, but Connor is not accepting the terms.
We know that you beat him in the past when you guys had your boxing fight. How do you feel him calling you out again and saying that he's gonna, kick your ass?
He wants payday. Payday.
I know that.
No, but I want to do it in MMA. And there's too much to risk for him. I don't think he thinks he could actually beat me in MMA. We made the offer, and he hasn't accepted it.
As soon as Mike Perry lost to Jake Paul, Connor McGregor astonishingly fired the bare-knuckle champion Mike Perry from the BKFC. Jake Paul was surprised to hear the news of Connor firing Mike, but he expected as such and said that it's really up that McGregor fired his only BKFC champion. Jake Paul elaborated his remarks by saying that it was always going to happen. Connor was big upping his boy Mike Perry before the fight, but Jake was committed to beating Mike. Jake said, "Okay, Connor, after I Mike Perry, then you're next." Jake Paul made fun of Connor McGregor by saying that he's on Twitter all the time, and he spends most of his time on a yacht, but he's not in the ring fighting me. Paul further commented that Connor can talk all he wants, but the notorious MMA fighter is scared of Jake Joseph Paul from Disney Channel. Jake further went on to say that people always underestimate him during the pre-fight press conferences. Jake said, "I'm backed into a corner because there's only one thing to do, and that's fight your way out, and people don't believe in my skill. They said this was a mistake. Mike Perry's going to knock him out. He's going to be the one to end it. Why is Jake Paul doing this? Is dumb, blah, blah, blah." And I sat there at the press conference and I said it to everyone. They always sit across from me and underestimate me and think they can beat me, but people don't realize my speed, my power. And you heard Mike Perry after the fight. Jake Paul further complimented his own skill in boxing. He said that even Mike Perry praised him after the fight, and not even the cameras or the stream can comprehend my power and speed. When anybody gets in the ring with Paul, it's a whole different thing. Furthermore, Jake Paul called out Alex Pereira, the two-division world champion in MMA and kickboxing. When Jake was asked if there was any specific reason he called out Alex, because Pereira is under the UFC contract, so it will be tough for him to get out of that. Jake responded by saying that he wants everybody in a fight. The sole reason why Jake wants to fight anybody he wants is because he loves this sport and he wants to smoke the biggest fighters. Jake Paul said that Alex wants to get into boxing because he tweeted in the past, and Paul asked Alex if he can get out of his contract, then they should fight each other. Paul further commented on calling Alex Pereira out. He said that whether Dana White allows Pereira to get out depends on Dana, because the UFC champions are not their own bosses. They have managers that make their decisions for them. Jake Paul claimed that he can beat Alex Pereira, and that will embarrass Dana White because he beat Dana's #1 UFC contender, Alex Pereira. Jake said that he wants all the MMA guys, and he's waiting for who is next. Paul confidently claimed that he can dethrone and decapitate the next UFC king, and Alex hits the spot perfectly. Furthermore, Jake Paul was asked if he thought the fight with Mike Perry went according to how he planned. Jake responded by praising Mike Perry such that he's a very tough opponent. Jake wanted to knock out Mike Perry in the very first round, but he continued to take damage and survived till the 6th round. Paul was astonished at how well Perry took damage from him, and he had never seen such an opponent. Jake put Mike Perry down in the first round when he punched his ribs, but he kept on coming at Paul. Jake believed that he would put Mike Perry down for good because he believes in his power. Jake Paul further commented on how he beat Mike Perry while praising him for being a tough opponent.
I just believe in my power so much. I put him down in the first round, but he just kept coming. So respect to Mike Perry. That's why he's the king of violence, former king of violence. I'm the new king of violence. But respect to him. Perfectionist, and I wasn't perfect because he hit me like 5 times. One was good. One good punch he landed. So I just need to go back to the drawing board so I don't get hit at all. But I think it just had to do with my energy more so than anything else, and being able to throw more punches. That's what I didn't feel very good in there tonight.
Jake Paul said that he did not feel very good before the fight, since he was sick up until last Wednesday. Paul said that he will go back to the drawing board to not get hit at all the next time he fights. Meanwhile, in another interview, BKFC champion Mike Perry was asked about his history with Connor McGregor when he fired Mike Perry from BKFC. Perry responded by saying that Connor has no authority of firing me since we are both both champions of the UFC.
Eric?
Mike, Eric Jr. Post. Connor McGregor tweeted about the Dirty Boxing Championship logo and stuff like that. Is there any backstory that you have with him about the logo and stuff?
No, man, I appreciate you talking about it, whatever. He doesn't fucking have a promotion because me and him are both owners of BKFC, so he can't fire me. We can fight in bare knuckle. Look at me, I lost to Jake Paul. Why don't you go fight Jake Paul and box him with the gloves on?
Mike Perry told the interviewer that McGregor should fight Jake Paul with boxing gloves on, and the fight will turn out even worse for Connor. Furthermore, Mike was asked about his next move after losing to Jake Paul, to which he responded that he will be taking some time off to go for a vacation with his family. Perry will be taking care of his body and will not be partying hard because that will harm his body. He will get back into the gym when he feels better. Perry painfully regrets his defeat against Jake Paul and claimed that he should have done better, but Jake was a little too fast and a little too sharp for him. Furthermore, Mike Perry was asked if he sees himself going back to boxing after his loss to Jake Paul. Perry responded by saying, "Well, my last one was 9 years ago, and this was a good opportunity for me. Main event, sold out arena. It was great. The fans come and I tried to give them a fight, and it just doesn't look like that's the thing for me, but I'll probably get back in the gym because that's all I know, and I'll train and I'll try to get better, and I use it as a mental health thing. I train in the gym to be a better person." Mike's promoter interrupted Perry's remarks about him telling everyone that boxing is not the gig for him. Perry's promoter praised Mike Perry by saying that we saw a really tough Mike Perry today, and we can get him matched with other fighters from his weight class to get a better fight. Mike's promoter believes that there are still plenty of opportunities for Mike, which include regular boxing and bare knuckle. His promoter told the audience that Mike Perry is not someone who quits, and he will keep coming back into the ring. Meanwhile, Connor McGregor seemed absolutely furious at Jake Paul and called him demeaning terms. Connor made excuses for Mike Perry's loss to Jake Paul by saying that a 40-pound weight difference was the reason Perry lost to him. McGregor even accused Jake Paul of using steroids and claimed that he cannot fight in a real boxing match like in Vegas, because if he did, then he would fail the tests. In another interview, Jake Paul was asked how he feels about preparing to fight Mike Tyson. He responded by saying that he's ready to face the beast that everyone claims Tyson to be.
To make this a pro fight, I'm gonna end you, and I'm ready for it, and I'm excited for it, and he's a beast.
It's
very
amazing.
Dangerous.
It's amazing. No matter what would have happened here, somebody would have asked the question of, should this fight really happen? Jake would have gone to a decision. They would have said, should this fight happen? Can he really beat Mike Tyson? If Jake would have lost, they would have said, thank God he's not fighting Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson would have killed him. He beat Mike Perry, who was an extremely tough man.
Moreover, Jake Paul's manager shockingly lashed out on the reporter for bringing the question of Mike Tyson's age into the mix. The reporter told Jake's manager that Mike Tyson is 53 years old, and Paul's manager shot down the interviewer's remarks by saying, "No, he's not," and allegedly asked to change the question. It is evident that Mike Tyson wants to beat Jake Paul because he is anxiously waiting to knock the lights out of the Disney kid Jake Paul. Mike Tyson turned to social media after Jake Paul beat Mike Perry and started counting down the time before both fighters face each other. Jake Paul's big brother Logan Paul was interviewed on the outcome of Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, and he confidently claimed that "my brother is going to end Mike Tyson."
Him and Mike Tyson, bro, the same thing that happened to Mike Tyson. Like everyone, I said this about Mike Perry. Anyone who thought Mike Perry was going to beat Jake is a fool. And honestly, people would think Mike Tyson's going to beat Jake on fools, but Jake will end Mike Tyson's whatever he's doing.
What is it? Logan Paul absolutely ridiculed Mike Perry after the fight when he said that "I love tough guys for my brother because that means he gets the chance to beat them up big time." Logan further elaborated that Mike Perry was really tough, but that fight was nothing but a beatdown. When you talk about boxing, you talk about a person that's trying to kill you because that's what boxing is all about. Logan appreciated his younger brother Jake's boxing by saying that he was super tough and "I was really entertained and I am so proud of my brother." Logan Paul was further asked how the Paul brothers come out of adversity time and time again, to which he responded by commenting, "That's who they are." Paul also said, "That's just the way we are. We're fighters. We're fighters. We're not scared of conflict. We lean into that." We certainly aren't going to let strangers tell us who they think we are or let their opinions affect us. In fact, it fuels us. Logan Paul felt worried when Jake Paul started taking punches from Mike Perry in round 3 and 4, but Jake did not run away. He punched harder and even better, so it snatched Mike Perry's soul to the point that even smaller jabs were enough to drop him. Furthermore, Logan Paul was asked about the news that Connor McGregor fired Mike Perry, to which he responded that Connor is a terrible person. When Mike Perry's winning, McGregor is at his side to support him, and when he loses, then Connor drops him like he doesn't even know him. Logan further went on to give McGregor advice about his pathetic behavior, that he should be a better leader. Logan claimed that Connor does not want to admit that Jake Paul is a better fighter than him. Later on, Logan Paul was asked if Connor McGregor would fight his younger brother Jake Paul, so Paul's dad jumped in and started punching the camera, giving the analogy of what would happen if Connor and Jake fought.
Admit it, Jake's tough, bro.
Will he fight him? Would he fight your brother? You think he would fight your brother? Or you think he would take that risk? Tell us that. Oh, shit, that hurt.
That's right. That's right.
In another interview, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. shockingly called out Jake Paul to fight him after he beat Uriah Hall in an underwhelming fight under the main event. Who do you think Jake Paul will face against next after Mike Tyson? Let us know in the comments section below.